You forgot lights? Yes, I did. I can see. We are live. Yay. Yay. Hello, Murdock. How you doing? Doing good, Mikey. Good. Welcome everybody. This is Mikey along with Murdock and of course my beautiful wife Suzanne and our two wonderful kitty cats Moonpie and Deja Vu. And today, of course, is TOS Tuesday review. Today we are reviewing from season 1, episode 25, The Devil in the Dark. And of course, that was the story of the matronly monster known as a Horta. And she was taking care of her eggs when miners decided on the planet to mine borite and all this other stuff, including some dilithium minerals. And the Horta was just protecting her nest, and so she was killing off you know miners right and left. Well, when the Horta got injured, there's that famous line that Dr. McCoy says. He says, "Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer. You're a physician, and you have a patient who needs you." Like, just eloquent, perfect, And Spock even did a mind meld on Horta and found out who she was and why she was protecting her eggs. And so the Horta and the miners at the end basically came to an agreement, said, okay, we'll leave your egg nest alone while you allow us to go and mine in the other parts of the caverns. That's basically the plot of the story. But believe me, it got, from IMDb's background information, which I do use, and you all know this, um, it did get a score of 8.3 out of 10. So basically a B. Well, I'll surprise a lot of you by saying this is one of my other favorite episodes. Really do like it because it is shows concern for an alien monster who really is not hostile, really isn't someone a being that rampages through the caverns to kill miners. All she's doing is just trying to protect her nest, like a bald eagle female would, or bees protecting the queen in a beehive. All that stuff. So that's basically what it's about, and it's very good. It's very good. So instead of a B, like most people gave it, I would have given it an A, and that's what I will give it. It's an A, straight up A, because it is a good episode, and it might be a good suggestion, unless of course Dan has seen it. Not this weekend, but the following weekend when he does his sci-fi, um, you know, cinema, progression, where we do a watch party and then we talk about different sci-fi topics. So yeah, in about another 2 weeks from now. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Devil in the Dark, great episode. All right, Murdoch, you ready to go back and sit and watch? Yep. Okay, good. You can watch me. All right. Now we're gonna try something different today, folks. We do have my beautiful wife watching. What we're going to try to do is I'm going to go through, but we're going to do this for now, just for Tuesdays, because I only do one episode, and it is TOS. So there's a lot to talk about. What I'll do is just go through the entire episode. Like I said, I'm not going to do all the trivia, but just the main points, and then I'll go through the goofs, and then, like I said, I don't do quotes, but I do check on soundtrack, and I also know where it's being produced. It's in Paramount, there. So yeah, but I love reading anyway. Whatever. And then if I do find two actors or actresses that stand out in the episode, I will definitely check their mini bios. That will be done at the very end. So we're going to try this different today. And if anybody is coming in, please watch the beginning to this, so it explains to you why I'm not immediately addressing you until I get after the episode is done. And if that works out, then I might be doing that for future, with, the other ones, Get Smart Wednesday, 18 Thursday. And we're almost done with 18. I'll explain that later. Also, We have, of course, the Red Dwarf Mondays we did yesterday. So, but we're almost done with that too. Yeah, I only have 10, 11, 12, I only have 5 more seasons, and their seasons are limited to up to 6 episodes. So if I can get to the final one, which is updated or whatever is left from Red Dwarf, I will get to that very end, and then, uh, yeah, that'll be it. Then what will happen is I'll take a look to see if there's any other description of a Red Dwarf movie or a Red Dwarf Smeg Ups or things like that, and I'll take a look at those as well. So we have that, and um, after we do TOS, we're going to go backwards and start with Enterprise. Then we're going to go to TAS, which is the animated series, and then we'll go to uh, Star Trek New Voyages. With Colley playing Kirk, and then the Star Trek continues with Vic Mignogna playing Kirk for 11 episodes, and Colley did his for 10. So we have a lot coming up, folks. A lot of content, a lot of information for you so that you can go and enjoy these episodes when they're available, like for TOS, when it's available on Paramount Plus, or you can actually check parts of those episodes available right now on YouTube, and some are available. Some of the episodes are together in a box set and stuff through Amazon Prime, so you can check all of that out. That is what is available to you. Okay. All right, so let's get to the episode here. And like I said, the Enterprise is sent to a mining colony that is being terrorized by a mysterious monster, only to find that the situation is not that simple. And over 4,700 people, as I said, did give it an 8.3 out of 10, or at least a B. And this premiered on Thursday, March 9th, 1967. So yeah, I gave it an A. I thought it was good. It's one of the better episodes for season 1. Okay, so let's take a look. All right, the director was Joseph Pevney. He does a lot of great. He directs a lot of great episodes in the series. The writers, of course, were Gene L. Coon and Gene Roddenberry, and of course the usual cast of characters: Kirk, Spock, McCoy. We're going to look at Vandenberg, played by Ken Lynch. Scotty was also in this. And let's see. I usually like to talk about the people. Now, Bob Hoy was in the Horta costume. That's kind of cool. All right. But he's uncredited. And let's see. Okay. So we're going to look at Ken Lynch, who played Vanderberg. And we'll look at Biff Elliott, who played Schmitter. I hope I'm pronouncing those names right. Okay. So let's take a look at trivia. Okay. All right, the first bit of trivia is, in his book Star Trek Memories, William Shatner identified this as his favorite episode because his father died during filming, and Leonard Nimoy's delivery of the mind meld lines made him laugh. He thought it was exciting, thought-provoking, and intelligent. It contained all of the ingredients that made up our very best Star Treks. Janos Prohaska, the creator of the Horta costume, actually wore it into Gene L. Coon's office as if to say, "Look what I designed." Coon said, "That's great, what is it?" And Prohaska said, "I don't know. It can be whatever you want." Coon replied, "I'll write a script around it." And he wrote this episode in 4 days so the costume could be used. When William Shatner, on the set, got the call from his mother informing him about his father's death, the crew was ready to shut down production, but he insisted on continuing. During the rest of the day, Shatner took comfort in Leonard Nimoy and cinematographer Gerald Perry Pinnerman, whose father had died on a movie set less than 7 years before. Arthur C. Clarke once remarked, in 1995, that of the original series, the only episode he could recall was this one. stating that it impressed me because it presented the idea, unusual in science fiction then and now, that something weird and even dangerous need not be malevolent. That is a lesson that many of today's politicians have yet to learn. Leonard Nimoy identified this episode's closing banter between Spock and Kirk as one of his favorite scenes to perform. He noted it was a wonderful moment which defined the relationship and defined the whole Spock character's existence and his attitude about himself. Okay, now there's another 35 more bits of information. We won't go through that, but we will take a look at the spoilers. Okay, we only have two. So if you have not seen this episode yet, and why haven't you if you haven't had a chance yet? Just kidding. Anyway, put your hands over your ears. I'll say the quick two spoilers, and then I'll go boop, 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 and then okay. So, shortly before shooting the scene in which the Enterprise security guard is killed by the Horta, William Shatner was informed that his father had died. His mournful demeanor as he knelt down by the remains of the guard was genuine. And then, security guard or red shirt casualties were one, in this episode. So not many red shirts bought their lives by the Horta. Just one. That's good to know. All right, let's take a look at the goofs. Okay, the first two or three are continuity. When Kirk and Spock shoot the Horta with their phasers, nothing appears to happen, and the Horta backs off into a tunnel it creates. Kirk and Spock run over to the new tunnel, across the floor that is clean. When the shot shifts to show them from the tunnel, there is a piece of the Horta on the floor to the left, where there was none before in the previous shot. When the view shifts back to showing the chamber they are in, the piece of the Horta is on the floor. When Kirk and the Horta have squared off against each other and Spock enters, there is a two-angle back and forth. When the camera is directly at Kirk, he is kneeling with a phaser in his right hand. When the angle switches to Kirk at left, Spock far center, Kirk is kneeling but with a communicator in his left hand. The change goes back and forth a couple of times. Even though it takes place at one time, Kirk wears two different uniforms. The older one has lighter braiding on the sleeves and has shrunk considerably. Okay, here's one incorrectly regarded as goofs. Spock says he's surprised that the roof over Kirk's head in a cave had collapsed. Since the caves are miles underground, one might think that Spock would have likely used the word ceiling, but a check of any dictionary will reveal that roof is a perfectly acceptable term for the top of a cavern, cave, or enclosed passageway. All right, here's a couple of revealing mistakes. When Kirk is cornered by the Horta, a shot from behind shows that it is a stunt double leveling his phaser at the monster. When Kirk and Spock shoot the creature after seeing it for the first time, it retreats into a tunnel. The tunnel has a flat bottom as it moves away, but in the next shot from the reverse angle, it has a rounded bottom. When in the Horta cave after Spock's mind meld, Kirk is holding a broken egg shell. The molding seam is visible on the prop. After Kirk and Spock fire at the Horta, it gets away through a tunnel, and after Kirk mentions that the walls are hot, Spock notes that the tunnel was cut within the last 2 minutes. However, when the Horta was fleeing, the tunnel clearly already existed. In the prologue scene, Schmitter remarks that at least 50 people have been killed, and adds Apple shot it and look what happened to him. But Apple survived and gave dialogue in subsequent scenes. Right, there's a couple of miscellaneous goofs. First one is when Spock first approaches the Horta for a mind link, in the background where the words "No, kill I" would soon appear, a rectangular covering hides those words as they are not yet ready to be seen in the storyline. The edge of the covering can clearly be seen at this time. And once again, in the end credits, George A. Rutter is listed as Skippit supervisor instead of script supervisor. Boy, they never got that fixed, did they? Okay. That's just either bad writing or just bad grammar or both. Poor writers. Yeah, you should know better. Come on, it's a science fiction series. All right. Let's see. Couple plot holes. Using clubs to attack the Horda would make no sense, since the Horda exudes an extremely corrosive fluid to create its tunnels, capable of dissolving large quantities of solid rock in seconds. All it would need to do is protect against the clubs is release a large quantity of the corrosive. Any kind of club used to attack the Horda at that point would simply disintegrate when it touched the corrosive on the Horda's exterior. After Spock's initial mind meld with the Horda, Kirk and Spock discuss asking the Horda where the retardation mechanism for the main reactor is. There's never any indication that they knew the mechanism was cut out and not simply dissolved away by the Horda, nor is there any logical reason why the Horda would keep and not just destroy the reactor pump if it wished to drive them off the planet. Spock warns Kirk about touching the hole in the reactor room door just cut by the creature, but just after he and Kirk shoot the Horda, removing a piece of it, Spock unhesitatingly picks it up. Okay, and there is one spoiler for this one. If there had been, if there have, okay, sorry, try to start again. If there have been many generations of Horda on the planet, and each generation is 50,000 years, that means they have been on the planet for many thousands, perhaps millions of years. Since they digest or move through solid rock by using extremely strong corrosives, two things should result from the existence of many thousands of Horda over the course of time. Number one, the result of the corrosives dissolving rock should be extremely large quantities of polluting gases that would have poisoned the atmosphere long before humanoids arrived on the planet, making it too difficult for the miners to mine the minerals. The Horda would be unaffected by the polluted atmosphere. And number two, the result of all the tunneling by thousands of Horda over that length of time should have depleted their food supply planet, as there is no natural process on the planet that would replenish its supply of rock. Alrighty, here's a couple of character errors. When deciding which of two tunnels to investigate, Kirk tells Spock to take the one on the left and he'll take the one on the right, but he gestures with his phaser to the exact opposite tunnels. In his line, silicone based life is physiologically impossible, Kelly says silicone. Kirk tells Spock that he's 10 feet away from the monster rather than counting in metric system. Early on, Kirk asks the head miner if he placed any sentries, but he pronounces it centuries. Wow. I'm telling you, some bad quotes and writing and everything else you can think of, man. Terrible. But it was a great episode, so go figure. All right, and of course, the Star Trek theme from Alexander Courage plays at both the beginning and the end. And let's see. Right. And of course, the filming at Desilu Studios. I said Paramount, but I know that was wrong. Desilu Studios at 9336 West Washington Boulevard in Culver City, California. The filming dates for the episode were January 12th, 1967 to January 23rd, 1967. So this took 11 days to film. Well, I think that's probably because they gave Shatner a couple days to chill out, after finding out that his father died. So, yeah, that's possible. Alrighty. Okay, now let's get to the cast and crew, but I would like to see if anybody has come in. And let's see. Matt 2890 is first in the box. Hello, Matt. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. Hey, Mikey. Hope you and Suzanne are well, and that Suzanne had an amazing birthday. She did, Matt, and thank you so much for asking. Yep, she's the ripe old age of 39. She's my female Jack Benny. No, she's 59, but and she's accepting of that. But you know, I just like to play with her and say, "Hey, you're 39, babe, and I love you." Hello, Anchorman. Welcome, Scott. Hello. He says, I'm currently at conflict with a friend, Hedgehog Nerd. Okay. Wow. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Scott. I hope everything goes better for you. By the way, I know this is the wrong season because we're like 6 months away, but this is a Christmassy Star Wars shirt that my wife got for me, which has, I believe, it looks like BB-8, but no, it's actually R2D2. But it says "Merry Beep Bloop." Yeah, it's cute. It's cute. I like it. Yeah, I got it one Christmas for a gift from my beautiful wife. So yeah, so very cool. So Matt and Scott, thank you for coming in here and providing some company today. I really appreciate that. Okay, let's take a look at the cast and crew, and let's see. Yeah, we're taking a look at Vanderberg, played by Ken Lynch, and then Schmitter, played by Biff Elliott. So we'll take a look at Ken first. Okay. Unfortunately, we did lose Ken Lynch back in 1990. Okay. All right. So Ken Lynch was born July 15th of 1910. He died February 13th, 1990. One of the things that is advertised for him was that he did play in the series McCloud from 1970 to 1977. And it says, if ever there was an actor born to play a tough Irish cop, it was Ken Lynch. And he played so many of them in his long career that he could probably do it in his sleep. His suspicious manner, aggressive attitude, steely eyes, and snarling voice broke down many a quavering suspect. Quavering, wow, that's a cool Q word. I hadn't seen that in a while. He also played military officers, business executives, and private eyes, and every so often he'd be a sheriff in a western, but it was as a street cop or detective that most people remember him. So he died at the age of 79. And let's see. Right. So as I said, he did 16 episodes of McCloud. He played Detective Sergeant Grover in that. He was in the original Battlestar Galactica in 1979. He played one episode, Dr. Horning. Um, he was in North by Northwest with Cary Grant, that spy novel that Alfred Hitchcock made. And in that movie, he played Charlie. And then in Anatomy of a Murder, back in 1959, he played Detective Sergeant James Durgo in that movie. Alrighty. The last thing that we have recorded for him that he appeared in, The Winds of War. You folks remember that TV miniseries from the early 80s? Yeah. He did one episode of that. He played Rear Admiral Talbot Gray. Very cool. Alrighty, so that was the mini bio of Ken Lynch. Rest in peace. All right, now, lastly, we'll look at Biff Elliott, who played Schmitter. Okay. All right, we did lose Biff Elliott back in 2012. He worked on additional crew and he was an actor. He was in a great movie called The Enemy Below in 1957. And that, of course, gave rise to the Star Trek episode we just watched with the Romulan commander. Um, that was the oh, here. Let me take a look at it. That drives me nuts. I'll find it. I'll find it. Okay. Born July Patterns of Force. That was it. Born July 26, 1923, and he died August 15th, 2012. So he was 89 years old. Biff Elliott was born in Lynn, Massachusetts. He was an actor known for Eye of the Jury in 1953, as I just mentioned, The Enemy Below in 57, and then in 1974, he was in the original Planet of the Apes. He was married to Constance Karen Bandy and then married to Elizabeth Alice Dole. He died in Studio City, Los Angeles, California, as I said, on August 15th, 2012. And in I, the Jury, that was one of the early Mike Hammer films, and that's who he played. And in The Enemy Below, he played the quartermaster. In Planet of the Apes, he was Ullman. He also played an orangutan for 2 episodes. So that was the Planet of the Apes TV series, okay, in 1974. Um, so he plays an ape in one episode and a human in another. Makes sense. And then in the Combat TV series, he was in 2 episodes playing Dr. Rafferty from 63 to 66. Okay. So let's see. Yeah. So let's go back here to Star Trek. And let's see here. Yeah, we'll find it. Yeah, there it is. I'm sorry. It was called Balance of Terror. And The Enemy Below in 1957 was then watched by Gene Roddenberry. And he figured he could go ahead and adapt the movie's plot, which is the German U-boat, which is underwater, and the American Navy is tracking it, and it's a game of cat and mouse, and that's what they used to then make it the game of cat and mouse between Kirk and the Enterprise and the Romulan commander, played by Mark Leonard, um, in the first time that they get to meet the Romulans. So yeah, that was earlier in season 1, episode 14. So yeah, and that's one of the better episodes. We saw that too with Sit Down. That was really good. So yeah. Okay, so next week, the next episode we'll do on Tuesday is Errand of Mercy. Weird alien thing that was like flying up in the ceilings of the Enterprise, and with a war with Klingons raging, Kirk and Spock were attempting to resist an occupation of a planet with incomprehensibly placid natives. Yeah. Oh, okay. So the one I'm thinking of is okay. No, that's something else. This was the Organians. Yeah, that's a good episode too. Yeah, the Organians. Yeah, I remember that. Okay, so that's Errand of Mercy. That'll be next week. Okay, now I can take my hat off. All right, itchy head. Yeah, disgusting. Okay, let's get to the chat here. So Scott says it was because I asked him if having a different dog would replace my dog Bill, and he said kind of, and I told him he was wrong, and he started to say, "Well, that's the truth," and I told him he was wrong. That can happen. Yeah, with any animal, really. And Roger Blair, howdy, Mikey. Hello, Roger. And Matt says, hey to Anchorman. And hello, PC. Welcome again, PC. Hello, all. Positive Candor. All right. Matt says, hey to Roger. Matt says, hey to Positive Candor. Hey, hey, hey. Scott says, hey, Matt, do you like Star Trek Discovery? And Matt says, Anchorman, yes, I do like Star Trek. And hi, Lisa Hogan. Hey, Lisa. Travel with Lisa. How are you, sweetie? Waving to you. Welcome, welcome. And Matt says hi, travel with Lisa. Lisa is a wonderful English lady, a perfect lady, I would say. She is very nice. She works as a uh, well world traveling videographer, and she comes from Suffolk, England, with her father, and she is a wonderful person. And Suzanne and I were blessed to get to be with her when she was here in Toronto, which she calls her second home. That's kind of cool. We hung out with her for a couple times, and it was great. It was great. We had a wonderful time. She was very. We felt very blessed that she bought lunch for us both times, and we really appreciated that. And Lisa, when you do come back, um, Suzanne said she'll have something for you. So yeah, so just get ready for that when you come back to visit. All big kisses to you too, hon. Matt says, hi, Travel with Lisa. Scott says, I don't want my friendship to end with Hedgehog. I just don't agree with him. I guess I'd be forever invalidated. Well, okay. And Sir Lemon Pie says, hey, Mikey in chat. Lisa says, hello, all. And Matt says, hey, Lemon Pie. Well, welcome, Sir Lemon. Thank you for being here. Scott, all I can say about your situation is, uh, like friends, having friendships like that, there will be times where both of you will agree to disagree. I can't think of a more perfect example than my friend Larry of Beer Self Adventures. He and I have known each other for 50 years. And believe me, there have been times where we both have said to each other, you know, his viewpoint felt he was valid, and I felt it was wrong, and vice versa. And if you can be respectful, Scott, if you can be respectful of your friend's beliefs and validate them, and if your friend can reciprocate and also validate your beliefs, you're going to stay friends, no matter if you agree to disagree. Okay, I think that's the best way to describe it, actually. Okay, okay, awesome. Well, perfect timing then. When you come back in September, we can celebrate my birthday if you want. You and me and Suzanne, sure, we could do that. Let's see. Okay, so Travel with Lisa says I am back Thursday for 10 days, but staying in Niagara Falls. No worries, no worries, Lisa. But you are back in September for 4 months. That's perfect, isn't it, babe? She'll be in September, October, November, December for 4 months. That'll be fantastic. We're looking forward to it. Yeah. That'd be great. Lemon says hello to Matt. Scott says, I see what you're saying. Yeah, agreeing to disagree. Correct, sir. That is the best way. And you know what? And if you do agree to disagree, like I said, it does pay respect to your friend. And if you believe in your friendship, and I know that you do, it means the world. It does because you say, yeah, I understand your disagreement. I understand your conflict, but I'm also understanding that you understand where I come from, and then that helps to build the relationship. That really does. It helps a lot. Um, Matt says, Travel with Lisa, I've just subbed to your channel. I'm glad you did. Lisa needs a lot of subs. Yeah. She goes all over. She's been in England. She's been over there in Toronto here. She's been over in Niagara Falls. She's been all over Canada. I mean, and she's been in other places as well. So, yeah, she's a world traveler. Yeah, and she's a very well learned lady and very nice, very sweet. Yes. And Scott says, am I valid? Yes, I believe you are, Scott. You're a valid individual in my book, believe me. You're a brother to me, okay? So there you go. Lisa says, thank you, Matt. And Lisa says, sounds good, Mikey. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Now, Lisa, when you go to Niagara Falls, be safe, don't gamble, have some fun. Um, if you haven't been to the Rainbow Cafe, Suzanne and I highly recommend it. Now, it is a little bit expensive, but if you're willing to have a great time, hear sounds of jungle, all this stuff, and the staff are amazing. They are great. So when you're in Niagara Falls, there on Clifton Hill, go over to Rainbow Cafe. hmm I would highly recommend it. Oh, Lisa says have been there. Awesome. Well, there you go. You can go back there again. Yeah. Okay. Well, see, you're well traveled. We only Suzanne and I only got to go there once. to the particular cafe. We did gamble one time. Somehow got managed to get out of Niagara Falls with some money. That was fun. Um, you know, and we've been there 3 times altogether. So yeah, um, and believe it or not, it is the only way that I told my parents, look, if you want to come see us, you're going to have to come to Niagara Falls. But my dad can't cross over into Canada, something to do with the medical issues he has and things like that. So we said, look, Dad, Mom, it's okay. You go stay on the Niagara Falls, New York side. We'll get one of those Canadian visas to be able to go over for a couple days, and we'll hang out on the American side. And then you guys can go home, knowing that you've been to Niagara Falls and you got to see me and Suzanne before, everything. So, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Scott says, "Is my love for Belle still valid?" Yes, even if Belle has passed away, Belle was your baby, and you never forget your baby. You always keep those memories of your pets, whether they're dogs, cats, ferrets, whatever they are. You keep those in the back of your mind and in your subconscious, and they're valid. Yeah, because they are fond memories. Yeah, that's very cool. Um, let's see, Lisa. Let's see. Okay, so you've been there, Rainbow. Um, did you already go through the Nightmare Fear Factory? That's a lot of fun, Lisa. Yeah, we've been there a couple times. Yeah, it's very it's very dark in there. The only thing that you can follow is a little red light, but Oh, okay. Um, no, I haven't been in that one. Okay. Well, if you like to be scared, I'm just saying, Lisa, if you like to be scared, go try out the Nightmares Fear Factory off of Clifton Hill. It's not too far. It stands out. I'm sure you've seen it since you've been there before, so in Niagara Falls. So yeah, it's not too far from Clifton Hill. Yeah. It's called Nightmares Fear Factory. It's on the site of an old coffin factory. And the urban legend goes that the owner, whose name was Abraham, used to make coffins, design them specially for funerals and so forth. Well, one night he was working in his factory, and a couple of these, what they called ruffians back then, came in, broke in. They disturbed him, and a bunch of coffins fell on top of him and killed him. And then what happened was later on, they couldn't find the ruffians, so then they searched and eventually they found them. But in order to, prosecute them, they had to get the body so that they could find that, they were responsible for what happened. Well, when they went to dig up Abraham's body, his body wasn't there. So to this day, like I said, I consider it an urban legend. But uh, when Suzanne and I were there, before we left, I heard two distinctive voices. Now, they have people that work behind the scenes. Spoiler alert, okay? But it's effective. But I know this for sure. When we left, there were two distinct voices that came, and they were not from people backstage or people hiding out to scare people. It sounded like the guy who used to run the factory, Abraham himself. And he said, "Get out and go away." Very loudly. I could hear it in my ears. She could hear it. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. There is a real haunting there. Yeah. So it's not just people that can scare other people. Oh, and by the way, here's the secret. If you go in there and you want to go through the whole thing, don't ever say the word nightmare. If you say it, they'll kick you right out, and then you'll lose your the money you paid to take the tour through it. Yeah. So don't do that. Okay. If you want to go through it though, completely. Now, here's a little secret too. There is one spot where a stairwell goes from, and it's lit up if it's during the day, and you go through the stairwell. You have one chance to leave on your own. If you want, you can go out the back door, and it's a push open, and an alarm will go off or something. But that's okay. If you want to leave, you can leave. and somebody will be there to escort you. But otherwise, have fun with it. Yeah. And yeah. And let's see. Yeah. So Travel says, have been there at Rainbow, right? Scott says, I was told by people at work I forget her eventually. I told them they're wrong. They are wrong. Don't forget, Belle. Haven't been in that one. Have walked past it. Scott says, I'm going to Comic Con in Akron, Ohio this Sunday. Barefoot guy. Oh, nice. Cool. Well, Scott, then go and enjoy yourself. But let me tell you, Scott, don't forego your memory of Belle. Okay? As long as the memory is fond of Belle and is prominent and is meaningful to you, then that's all that matters. Doesn't need to be meaningful to others if it's more meaningful to you. That's why it's in your subconscious. Because it helps give you good memories. And helps you remember and helps you care. Like if you didn't have memories like that, you're not human, in my book. Yeah. It's good to have memories like that. And Lisa, if you're gonna be there, try it. Try Nightmare's Fear Factory, okay? Give it a shot. And if you do, and if you do, try to get some video, okay? Good luck with that. I don't know if you can get very good video inside unless you make an agreement with some of the people at the front, their front display counters there, where they have some merch, for people that survived it. Yeah. So, yeah, it's one of the scariest places in all of Ontario and all of Canada, actually. A lot of people travel from everywhere to go see it, but not a lot of people make it through. It's pretty scary. Yeah. And the actors and actresses that work in the behind the scenes are very well done. They do very well done job. A very good job of what they do. So Scott says, I will definitely remember forever. Maybe it's best I don't ask people about the topic of another dog to them and keep the memory to myself. There you go. You just answered your own question. That's it, brother. Yeah. Love the pets you've lost. Embrace the pets you have right now, you know. But yeah, if you don't feel like telling anybody else and keep it to yourself, that's perfectly fine. You don't even need to say a word. Yeah. Because it means the most to you. Let's see. You said here, Scott, I might go to Comic Con as Daredevil or Batman. Okay, you know what? I'll give you a suggestion, and I think Batman's been overdone. Why don't you go as Daredevil if you can go? Yeah, there aren't a lot of Daredevil dress up guys there that or gals that I know of. When I take a look, online and see these Comic Con events and whatever, but I do see way too many Batmans. Yeah. But that's just my idea. Like I said, my suggestion. If you want to go as Daredevil. That's just my plan. But if you want to go as Batman, go as Batman. It's totally fine. Thank you, Mikey. No, you're welcome, Scott. You're welcome. Yeah, I got the blind stick and the glasses and the dress clothes. Well, then go as Daredevil. If you got the props, do it. Yeah. Yeah, I can go as Matt Murdock. Absolutely. Yeah. Mhm. I'll tell you this much. Personally, I don't mind Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne. Uh, he's an okay Batman, but I think he's a better Bruce Wayne. Um, and I think that he played his Matt Murdock, the blind, attorney or whatever. I think he played him better than he played as the character hero Daredevil. But that's just my opinion. I came up with something insane, Mikey. Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. Well, we got 3 likes. We got 4 people watching. So very cool. Okay. Well, uh, as you know, tomorrow we've got, excuse me. As you know, tomorrow we got 2 episodes of season 1 of Get Smart that we'll be covering. And then on Thursday, we have 2 more episodes of season 4 of The A-Team, my favorite TV series of all time. And both of those should be around the same time today as we started, right at 12 noon straight up Eastern time. And tonight, I believe, Gorilla's Random Thoughts. He's back to random. He got rid of his ham hand. I'm glad. Anyway, um, he has his cigar lounge tonight. My friend Larry of Beer Sub Adventures also has his own stream, but they might combine their streams. I don't know for sure, but I know that Larry was going to leave me a message, and I know um, Gorilla was going to also. So we'll see which one I can attend tonight. Let's see, nothing Wednesday except like I said for Get Smart. And then Thursday, after I do my A-Team reviews later on that night, Gorilla does his Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles watch party. We're going to be able to watch 2 more episodes of that awesome series, which unfortunately only lasted 2 seasons because Fox got stupid and decided to get rid of it. But luckily, it did lead into Terminator Salvation, which then featured Christian Bale playing John Connor. So that kind of worked out. So one little thing didn't quite work because Fox got rid of it, but then runs into this, the Terminator franchise movies. So it kind of worked out good that way. Okay, so that'll be Thursday night, and then Friday I'll be co-hosting with Gorilla as we talk about the Waltons. And the next 5 episodes, we are now starting with season 5, episode 1. And the next 5 episodes are going to be a bit controversial. So we're going to have to really watch what we say. So that is all I'm going to tell you guys about. So you can come and watch us. But believe me, we used to be very talkative when it comes to episodes because we could talk pretty much about anything and not, you know, and it not be bad and we can get away with it. But these next 5 during season 5 are going to be very difficult. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Let's see. So Scott's still saying here, what if my coworker were put in escape rooms that were deadly? The mean one, he stuck on a collar that shocked him with walls closing in on him with Angela, who was mean to be would be tickled. Oh, now come on, Scott. Scott. Boy, you're creative, that's for sure. Mike the dairy guy would be trapped in a room with milk rising up on him. Another mean one would be in a room in a cage surrounded by zombies. Yeah, but what would these people do? Oh, I see. Because these are escape rooms, so you'd get some bleed to watch them try to escape from the rooms. I could see that. I could see that happening, maybe, but yeah, but escape rooms, like I said, you're supposed to be able to escape. Though most people, when they try them, they don't quite get out of there. So, yeah, we have a couple escape rooms here in Toronto. We do. There's one at least in downtown. I've never tried it. I don't think I ever will. But you know, but I did watch the movie Escape Room, which was very good. Jodie Foster, Forrest Whitaker, Escape Room. Yeah, good stuff there. Yeah, that was a good film. Okay, and Tim the bear. Oh, Tim the bear be trapped with a room full of guns, and then he had to pick up the right one to escape, like Indiana Jones' Last Crusade. Oh, wow, that'd be an interesting sight, wouldn't it? Yeah. Well, Scott, I hope I answered your questions today. Um, and you got some very creative thoughts there, but a little morbid. And I thought that was the morbid one. But that's all right. Don't worry about it, Scott. It's all good. All right. So I want to thank Anchorman, also known as Scott. Oh, and he says the other mean coworker, Jacob, would be in a trap in a room. It's so hot, he'd beg to be let out. Oh, well, a sauna room. I see what you're saying. Okay. Well, you got some creative moments there. Oh, hey, get off me. Oh, I hate bed bugs. Ugh, disgusting. Out of all those escape rooms, which one sounds the worst? I think in a cage surrounded by zombies. Because they go after your brains, and tear you apart. Yeah. I think the cage surrounded by zombies would be the worst one. Yeah. Yeah. That would be a bad one. Because you see, with the milk one, you could actually just drink the milk, unless it was buttermilk. And then you're like, ah, no. Couldn't get through that one, I don't think. Okay, so let's thank Scott, Anchorman, Anchorman. Also want to thank our friend Travel with Lisa from England. Uh, please enjoy yourself there, Lisa, in Niagara Falls, and we will see you then. And be safe, and we will see you uh, then in September, okay? And maybe we can go ahead and, like I said, celebrate my birthday together. That'd be a lot of fun, having an extra friend of ours to be with us. That would be fun. And maybe we can bring our friend Scott. We could bring Suzanne's friend Scott, and the four of us could go together, double date. That would be fun. Sure, that'd be great. So we like having Scotty here, or Scott. We like having Elisa and Matt, of course, 2890, and of course our friend Sir Lemon Pie, who was there with us in the beginning. And let's see, and I appreciate all of you that came to Suzanne's 59th birthday celebration yesterday. That was a lot of fun. And I really appreciate everybody that showed. We had over 15 visitors that came yesterday. And we had about 5 or 6 of us on the panel, including my beautiful wife. So that was a lot of fun. So, again, I want to thank and God bless everyone that came to her birthday celebration. And I also want to thank Roger Blair, Positive Candor, Mr. PC, and of course, first in the box is Matt, and then Scott, and Lisa, our wonderful friend. Thank you all for being here. And Lisa gives the thumbs up. Thank you, Lisa. And the escape room for Angela would be she'd be blindfolded to the death by, or for hours, bound hours, it would be painful. And Scott says, "Thank you, Mikey." Well, you're welcome, Scott. Yeah, the tickle room might be a little bit much. Yeah, it might be a little bit much. Yeah, I wouldn't mention that to Angela. Okay, yeah, no, that's not a good idea. Um, all right, so let's say a quick prayer in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Dear Lord, thank you for this wonderful thing we call social media, and we appreciate. Oh no, 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 Scott, please. Sorry if my scenarios seem insane. No, don't apologize, okay? You're creative. You have a creative imaginative mind. There we go. I managed to get that out. And you're going to a Comic Con. I'm jealous, dude. I would love to go see a Comic Con sometime. One of my nieces has been to a Comic Con. Yeah, she dressed up as one of the characters from Sailor Moon. Yeah, to the nines, everything. Uh, Thanks. Oh yeah, no problem. You're welcome. Okay, so I'm saying a prayer today. We did find out that a few more victims did come from the Air India disaster, a total of 270. So again, we're going to say a prayer special today for all the victims and for all their family members who are in mourning still from this incident. We also did lose a couple of other minor celebrities here and there. So we pray for their families as well. And of course, the last thing I'm praying for is praying for all of our families across the world. May everyone have a good rest of this year because we are at the halfway point, the 6 month period. So for the next 6 months, let's pray to God that there's no more tragedy, no more war, or at least no more major shootings, and nothing else going on in this world that can be damaging or detrimental or dangerous. So for all that, we ask uh, through you, Lord, through your beautiful Son, Jesus Christ, his mother, the most blessed Virgin Mary, the Holy Spirit, and of course our patron saints, Saint Suzanne and Saint Michael the Archangel. For all of them, we pray for us. Amen and amen. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So there we go, folks. Amen. Thank you, Lemon. You're awesome, Sir Lemon. Thank you. Okay, so going to our normal thing here, as we always like to say, Gene Siskel, who was my favorite nerd growing up in the 80s and 90s, when he was part of Siskel and Ebert at the movies. Unfortunately, both of those gentlemen are gone, so rest in peace. But my favorite line from Gene was, "And now the aisle is closed." I always loved that. My friend Larry, as I mentioned, next year will be 50 years that we've been friends. And he is one of the best friends I've ever had and will have until we all go away. So, but, um, but I pray for him and his family, his wife, Diane, his wonderful son Tyler, and his family, and of course his sister, Larry's sister as well. So, um, Larry always says, always be yourself. Perfect. Yeah, just perfect. And of course, uh, I always say always expect the unexpected. And finally, my beautiful wife, who just celebrated her birthday yesterday, she always says, leave everything in God's hands. And that is as a Universal Life Church minister, circuit preacher that she is, that means the world to me. And that is a perfect bit of advice. I love that. So, and let's see. A couple more things from Scott here. He says the last death trap for coworker would be a coworker named Kyle. He'd be getting his feet zapped by electricity for hours, causing her to beg to be let go. The point of the escape room of this world. Okay. Well, now that may be shocking. Very shocking. Yeah, that would be weird. Would they? Would be insane to get out of? Insane to get out of, maybe not impossible, or maybe they would be. I don't know, Scott. All I can say is that you got this creative mind about it. So, but let's not let's hope that you don't put those into real practice. Okay? You can keep them in the mind's eye, and think about it, but yeah, I wouldn't be blaring it all over. Besides, probably none of your friends ever watch this show, and I understand, but I wouldn't be blaring it around there. Okay, just saying. Just saying. All right. So, as we like to say at the end, we always do. God bless America. God bless Canada. God bless that wonderful old England. Yes, Lisa, we've added your country into the bunch of blessings here, so hope you appreciate that. I'm sure you do. And of course, bless the rest of this world we live in because it is the only one we own, folks. And believe me, you will want to keep this world all together best you can. Aw. You're welcome, Lisa. And oh, hey, playing down under. Welcome. Oh, okay. Hi and bye. Love you all. Oh, sorry, playing down under. Yeah, we you just caught the end of it. Sorry, sir. Um, or ma'am or whoever. But playing. Come a few more times. A week. We always do this at 12 noon every day. Yeah, like I said, we do Red Dwarf on Monday, TOS, which is Star Trek original, on Tuesday. We do the Get Smart on Wednesdays, and we do the series of A Team on Thursdays. So come and join us. Yeah, no worries. Thank you, Playing Down Under. Yeah. So come and join us, please. And then, we'll also make sure you get the Blue Wrenchy the next time we see you, okay? Sound like a deal? Okay. Good, good. Okay. So as I said, and take care of this world. And last but not least, peace. Always. God bless from MikeySuzeFour. So on behalf of my beautiful wife, Suzanne, the birthday girl, from our beautiful kitty cats, Miss Moonpie and Miss Deja Vu, and for myself and everybody else in our family. Well, by the way, don't forget, we have 268 subscribers in our family. Please, if we can get 32 more, we will go to 300, and that's our next goal, and we will celebrate. We will have a live stream. So please get us to 300. That would be great. And hello, Daniel's Hot Topics. Welcome. We're almost done here, Daniel. He says yesterday was the 30th anniversary of Batman Forever. Yes, it was. Yeah. Not only was it my, beautiful Suzanne, my wife's birthday. She turned 59, but we call her 39. So let's just stick with the 39, okay, for now. And then, yeah, And then yesterday was Batman Forever. Yep, that great one with Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones and Val Kilmer. I'll go. I'll have drive through. Can I get you to have a sandwich, sir? I'll get drive through. Yeah, and that introduces to Chris O'Donnell as Robin. Yeah. Holy, yeah. Holy plate, Batman. And it's like, holy? Yeah, the island is holy. Yeah, kind of funny. 59 is the new 39. That is true. Playing Down Under. That is true. So we want to also thank you for playing Down Under and Daniel's Hot Topics for coming to join us today. 5 likes and 5 people. That is great. We appreciate you always, folks, and don't forget, we'll be back here tomorrow for Get Smart, 2 episodes of that great spy genre spoof featuring Don Adams, Barbara Feldon, and Edward Platt as Chief. And of course, now it introduces Dick Gautier, the late Dick Gautier, rest in peace, as Jaime the Robot. So make sure you come check that out tomorrow. And Daniel says, I hate living in the isolated area, in this isolated area. Well, work on getting out of there, Daniel. Do what you can, but do the best you can. But get out of there and find a good place for yourself. Try to move closer to the city. They'll help you. Don't worry. Just get close to the city if you can. I know it might seem like a lot of it may seem much urban, but maybe that's what you need. You need to be around more people. So do that, my friend. Okay. All right. So we got 7 likes. That is awesome. And mine will be number 8. So appreciate everyone. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you again tomorrow at 12 noon. But don't forget, please check out either my friend Larry, Be Yourself Adventures, his live stream sometime today, or also check out, uh, you know, Gorilla's Random Thoughts, my friend, there for his cigar lounge tonight. So make sure you try to visit and say hello. Out of all my escape rooms, which one you like to not be in, Mikey? Well, I just told you, I wouldn't want to be in the one with the zombies. Okay? That's the last thing I got to say. I would not want to be in there with the zombies and the gauge. Nope. Nope. Not come on after my brain. No, no, no. Brain, what is brain? Yeah. Anyway, we love you all. Take care, everyone. And we'll see you next time. And God bless. Da, da, da.